Working with Toolbox and Properties window. In this lesson, we're going to discuss Toolbox and Properties window. In Visual Studio.NET 2008, new controls have been added, and old controls have been modified and improved. Here we will see how to open a toolbox, and how to use the controls, and how to set the properties to the control to develop an application. Well then, go ahead and open a C#.NET application with default 4.1. You can get to Toolbox by clicking this icon, or you can go to View menu and click Toolbox. It will show you a Toolbox window with various categories. All Windows Form control contains all the controls available in Visual Studio.NET 2008 for developing Windows applications, and the Common Controls category contains various controls which most commonly are used for developing applications. For example, button control, checkbox control, label, list box, picture box, and text box controls, and so forth. Next off, the container controls are used to create extremely powerful and appealing user interfaces. A container, as its name implies, is a container for other controls. For example, group box and panel controls are used as a parent control to hold a number of child controls within. Next up is the menu and toolbar control. This category contains the controls that are responsible for providing context menu strip, status strip, tool strip, and the tool strip container. Next up is data controls. This is a very important category, which contains the controls that are responsible for performing data transaction. This category contains the various controls such as data set, data grid view, binding source, and binding navigator. Next is component toolbox category. Component is controls that can be dragged into the designer and manipulated at the design time, but it doesn't have user interface. These components are used for such things as performing tasks in the background, setting up time events, providing error and help text to the other controls, and also used in the operations such as monitoring file systems, searching ActiveX directory, and storing images, and so much more. Now the next category is printing. Windows Forms 3.5 has full support for utilizing the rich printing infrastructure that is part of Windows. For example, Page Setup Dialog component is used to present the user with the familiar Page Setup Preferences dialog. The next category is Dialogs, which contains the various controls to provide the Common Dialog API at the runtime. For example, Color Dialog Window, Folder Browsing Dialog, Open Dialog Window, and Save Dialog Window, and so forth. Well now, we'll see how to place the controls on Windows Form and how to set the properties for all those controls. So, go to Toolbox and click Common Controls. Then double-click Button Control, Label Control, and Text Box Control. Just drag the controls and align them such as this. Click the Label control and go to Properties window. We can also get the Properties window by pressing F4. Now if you want to display any message on the Label control, then click the Text property and change the text value. If you wish to change the text color, use For Color property to change the color. Similarly, we can change the appearance of the button control by changing its default property. If you wish to change the background color of the button control, then click the button control and go to Properties window. The back color property. It will show you a window with a color option, and you can apply any color by just clicking on that particular color. Apply your own creativity to create an interactive user interface.